Hello, this is Jennifer Waymark, and you're listening to an Oshawa Museum podcast. 2018 marks the 150th anniversary of the Oshawa Fire Department, and today we're going to learn a little bit more about this history of firefighting in Oshawa. This podcast series aims to actively promote awareness and appreciation of our community's history, highlighting remarkable artifacts, documents, photographs, or events from our past. We hope you enjoy the podcast. Oshawa's first fire department was organized on February 4th, 1856, by order of Bylaw 33. At the time, it was made up entirely of volunteers. Chief Engineer P. Thornton was the first to organize and equip the volunteer company, and as a result, became the first fire chief. The very first piece of equipment that the company had was an old one-handed pumper cart. The Oshawa Fire Department was incorporated as a full-time department by Bylaw 142 on July 20th, 1868, and they were once again under the command of Chief Thornton. He was responsible for 50 men with the fire company and a further 15 men with the hook and ladder company, plus one engine, some ladders, and numerous hose lines. Before the waterworks system of hydrants, water for fighting fires was supplied from domestic wells or underground tanks. The largest storage tank was built of concrete and was located beneath the town hall at the southwest corner of Richmond and Simcoe Streets. The town hall also served as the fire station and the police station. Other tanks were built of cedar logs and were placed at several suitable locations in the downtown area. The tanks were usually filled by rainwater from roofs and ditches, but if necessary, the water had to be hauled in to maintain a suitable level. When the bell in the tower of the town hall clock rang, teams of horses from the livery would come running up the streets toward the fire hall and were then hitched to the fire equipment. The volunteer firemen would either run towards the town hall or go to the nearest intersection indicated by the location signal of the second alarm. Here they might make a jump for one of the fire carts as it passed by. Prior to 1873, the only firefighting equipment available for the Oshawa volunteers was a manual pump. Oshawa purchased a steam pumper fire engine at the cost of $5,600 in 1875. Then, in 1917, the first motorized unit, a Chevrolet truck, was purchased and served for 11 years as a hose and chemical unit. For all their time and effort and the countless times of putting their lives in danger, the only payment received by the volunteer firefighters might be a grant by the council to the brigade funds, or maybe a turkey dinner at Christmas time. It wasn't until November 1925 that council appointed the first permanent firefighter, Chief Angus C. Cameron. The last volunteer fire chief was John Kellow. Another major change in the department came on January 1st, 1926, when 4 volunteer members became permanent firefighters: Bill Cullen, Ray Hobbs, Milt Oyster, and George Salter. The late 1920s saw a shift in the way the fire department operated. By the end of the decade, volunteer firefighters were phased out, and the department increased to 16 permanent firefighters. Chief Elliott implemented a full-scale fire prevention program, and the Oshawa Fire Department was presented with an award by the Province of Ontario for this program in 1930. During this time, Chief Elliott was able to acquire a new 1934 Chevrolet chassis with a 100 GMC Bickle pump. He also took delivery of a new Bickle pumper on June 14, 1939. The mid-1940s saw the opening of a second fire station in South Oshawa to work in conjunction with the city's only fire station that was located in the downtown area. In December 1946, the second fire station opened in South Oshawa. The 1950s were a period of growth for the fire department. A new headquarters stationed on Simcoe Street North opened in 1951. This replaced the antiquated hall in the old municipal complex. In April 1953, the Oshawa firefighters began operating the Oshawa Ambulance Service from that new headquarters. A new station, Station 3, located on Somerville Street, opened on September 15, 1955. The fire department continued to modernize through the following decades. Included in these changes was the shift away from street alarm boxes to an alarm board located in the dispatch center. The fire department also transferred operations of the ambulance services to the province. The 1990s saw province-wide implementation of the new 911 service. As the city continues to grow, the Oshawa Fire Services grows with it. A new fire station, Fire Hall 6, opened in the north end of Oshawa in 2016 to serve the needs of the expanding community in North Oshawa. In 2018, the 150th anniversary of the Oshawa Fire Services, Oshawa has 6 fire stations and over 200 full-time firefighters who have access to the most up-to-date firefighting equipment. Their, quote, role is to protect the lives of our citizens from fire and other public hazards through fire prevention, education, planning, and emergency incident services. This has been an Oshawa Museum podcast. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out our other historical video podcasts and subscribe to our channel.